I want to start off with just some word associations. So I'm going to say a word, adjective, and you tell me what player embodies this the most.
Oh boy. Okay.
You've seen a lot of players come through. Who's the toughest player you've ever coached?
This is like asking me.
It's not saying nobody else isn't tough, but who's the guy that like stands out to your mind? First player that stands out to you when you say you're toughest?
There's a lot. Lana Dickerson.
Yeah, I think it's a great answer.
That's a tough guy, man. That guy, nobody knows what he goes through each week to get on the field. But I see the tears in his eyes at times. That's a tough dude.
No doubt. All right. Smartest.
You.
Don't say it.
Yeah. There's no question. Yeah. Everybody knows that.
100%. All right, we can move on. Meanest.
What? Time out. Can we rewind the film? Because there might be one or two other guys that are at the same level. There's the same level. I don't want to. Isaac Seumalo.
To me, Isaac is actually the smartest player I ever played with. Between him and Wiz, those two guys were very intelligent.
High level. Yeah. He had great vision. He could see everything. He played 6 positions in one game, the Baltimore game, including tight end.
It's insane.
He played every position along the line in that game as well as the tight end.
I'm glad you rewound that. All right. Meanest. Doesn't have to be a guy with the Eagles either. Like if you got somebody from college.
Syracuse. Yeah. Meanest. I coached a long time now.
The game used to be meaner too. In the 80s, there was
feelings will be hurt.
Jason Peters. I saw some things happen on the field a couple of times. Like when you get to there's a certain point where if he snaps, you don't want to go there. There was some things that's a bad man.
I'll never forget the first one-on-one I ever saw him do. This is before you got this. My rookie year. Trent Coles at the end was a great player. And Trent beat him on an inside move. And he was pissed. He said, run it back. Oh, hell no, run it back. They line up again. I don't know why Trent tried to go inside again. JP took his palm and hit him so hard in the face mask that he landed on his head. Like did a backflip, basically. And I remember seeing that. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can play in the NFL. If these are the guys that are playing, like, I don't know if I got what it takes.
I mean, that guy, the size, the quickness, and the explosive power all wrapped up in one. You don't come across that within 100 years. You're not going to see someone like that. That was...
And great teammate.
Yes, great person.
Unbelievable.
Great person.
Most improved player you ever coached?
Oh, I don't know how you could say that's ridiculous.
I still remember the first day you walked in and like, I mean, you didn't know anything about football. I was drafted with Danny Watkins, who also was a guy that played football late, was very green with the game, didn't know what certain techniques were called, things that I was kind of crazy going to the NFL that a guy didn't know this stuff. But you didn't know a pass set. You didn't know where the quarterback was. You didn't know what anything was called. Truly, like, knew nothing about the game. And now you're an all-pro. Wow. I mean, that's insane. It helps that you're 365 and run a 4.7 and are a freak of nature, for sure.
4.7's generous.
You don't think you run a 4.7?
I don't know. Probably sub 5.
Sub 5?
Definitely not a 4.7.
No. If your toes weren't webbed, you'd run a 4.7.
I think I would. I'd have that extra support, a little cushion, just that little boost.
It's got to be him, right?
I know this. Here's what I know. I think he's being
modest.
Yeah, I think he's being modest. I think he's in a 4.7, 4.8. Like he would come out on the field early and he has this routine that he would do, but then he would just take off and open up and run. I'll never forget the workout that we did at IMG. I couldn't believe how the size of the player and the quickness and all the square drills, the shuffle, the karaoke. We were doing all kinds of stuff, and I was like, oh my goodness, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Yeah.
The size of the player, the quickness, the foot quickness, that's the wow factor. Now you got to assess the mental part of it. How long is it going to take?
Yeah.
And is it worth it?
Yeah.
And I was adamant about it. It's worth it. And it took a very long time. And we almost ran out of time.
What was that like for you, that whole process?
I couldn't believe they drafted me.
Yeah.
So, and the whole time I was here, I was just trying to figure it all out. I didn't know what I was going to be or what I was going to surmount to. I was just kind of at first going through the motions. Like Stout said, these conversations when he would come and say, you're not trying hard enough. I got offended.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, I'm trying my ass off. And then, he'd make an example of what effort really looks like. And with you,
Oh, okay.
It was the way you came off the field, gasping for air after long. Everything I tried to do was just, again, trying to prove myself to this guy, especially that 2020 year. You know, I got a win that I was close to getting sent home, and so pulled my socks up. I owe it to Nate.
Was Nate?
Herbie.
Really? What was Herbie?
You know, little lawyer locker room that man was.
Oh, yeah. Herbie.
He was, he heard some whisperings and relayed it back to me, and I was like, I got to pull my pants up.
Hold on. We had dinner last night. I know wives, and we had a nice time, and he actually reenacted the whole story. So I want you to tell us right now and use the voice and everything.
Fucking crazy.
Do it! Tell it. You told me this last night. I didn't know anything about this. Right.
He said, hey, bro. He said, listen.
It's a great Herbie impersonation.
He's going to kill me.
We love Herbie. Go ahead.
His tongue's too big for his mouth.
He said, man, he said, Jody, you got to get in your bag, bro. He's like, they're going to ship you home. So you want to go home?
Yeah.
They're going to ship your ass home. So you got to pull your socks up and get in your bag.
This is a very good Nate Herbie impression.
And then I got in my bag. I got in my bag. He's like, they're going to send you home, man. It's like, come on. Come on. He was my sleep paralysis thing.
Who is I guess the last one is leader.
Who? You?
I don't know. He's not answering.
Yeah, you were the leader. You.
We'll skip it.
No, why? You can't take the...
I don't like doing this. All right,
okay.
Who's cage match? Who's
well, then
winning
you set the question up. That's who, like...
I just got a bunch of notes down here.
Every player that was ever in that room, they would answer the question the same way.
Yeah, I probably
Who's winning a cage match?
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to second with Stout.
But, I mean, Selleck was a great leader. But he wasn't in the
room. Yeah.
But you did a lot of things in front of the team, in the offensive unit, and yeah.
I think one of the coolest things you did in 2017 was started the tradition. You and Stout really started it, which was talking in front of the team the day before the game.
Yeah.
The night before. Like, I still remember, because for some reason, we felt like in 2017, in camp, I remember us all looking at each other and being like, yo, we got a really good squad here.
Yeah.
Like Garrett, like all the pieces we added, Alshon, like the defense with Fletch, and like it felt like all the pieces this is the best amount of talent we had collectively. And I remember, I don't know which one of you guys thought of it first or how that whole, but you came up and talked the day before the first game of the year.
Yeah.
And basically, you basically said, guys, I went to the NFC Championship game my first year in the league. Second year in the league. We lost the game, and I figured out, you know what, we'll be back next year. And it's been 9 seasons, and I still haven't been back. Don't waste this opportunity. We got a really good squad. And I think that really started the trajectory that year of like demanding excellence and guys feeling like we had a swagger and confidence. Where did you come up with that? Or where did you both of you?
It actually happened really in the off season, because after my 10th season, Howie calls me into the office and he's like, hey, we got to talk. And so I meet him in the office and he's like, hey man, I know you're owed this, but we want to cut it. And so I had an agent, but I negotiated my deal with Howie face to face.
Oh, wow.
And
bold strategy. He's a good negotiator.
He's a good negotiator. But after that moment, I realized, I've been around this game for a long time. They start taking your money away, and then the next thing is you're out the door.
Right, yeah.
And so that offseason, my mindset switched, like, this is it. This is all I've got is this year.
Yeah.
And I know that the Saturday nights before the game, Stout used to always talk. And he used to always say something. I used to love hearing him talk. But at that moment that I had with Howie, I was like, I got to be more vocal. I'm going to do things that, are, help uplift my teammates a little bit more. And I thought it was a great thing for me to just show the guys, this is what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I'm at today. And this year is really all we got.
Right.
And what I thought was really cool about it, though, is that Stout kept it going.
Right. For sure.
The fact that
it wasn't a one and done.
Yeah. And the fact that I didn't even know Isaac knew how to speak And then Isaac gets up there.
Shout out to Ice. Yeah.
And Isaac pulls, he basically puts his heart on the table and like, this is who I am. It brought me closer to him. I had no relationship with him.
I agree.
And to be able to hear my teammate, Kelce, you got up there and got emotional. Like, to me, those really changed. I feel like our relationships became stronger because we started learning things about each other that we never knew. So
Agree.
I thought it was awesome that you did it.
And it was, you could hear a pin drop.
Oh,
You
yeah.
look around the room, a lot of emotional. There was a lot of emotional guys that would get up and speak. Darren Sproles did a great, unbelievable job. I mean, there was a lot of guys who would take that very serious and they would get up there and speak from their heart. And I think everybody really looked forward to it.
All right, let's talk. So you were a college coach for the majority of your career. You come from winning 2 national championships at Alabama with Nick Saban, Chip Kelly, completely different offense. What were your first impressions coming to Philadelphia and trying to run a brand new offense like that?
Well, I've run about every run play and play action and protection that I've been doing it. I was in college for 30 years.
Yeah.
We did a lot at Alabama,
Okay.
a lot. And that was really a pro organization, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then we come in here and we're in the tempo offense with Chip Kelly. I was so excited to learn something new. That was basically, we dabbled a little bit with a little fastball play here and there.
Right.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Snap the ball within 25 seconds. Let's go.
I still remember that first Washington game. It was like they could not stop us.
I remember you coming.
It was insane. We all thought we were going to win the Super Bowl. Like, it was, did we not? Like, they couldn't stop it.
Your enthusiasm and your excitement coming off, you couldn't breathe, and we're coming off the field. You're like, Stouty, they're begging us to slow down. They're throwing up on the field. We got them right where we want them.
Yeah.
I think we ran 50 plays
In the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Oh, dude. It was the first kind of its kind in the NFL. It was Washington had no idea what to do. And that was the first, we didn't have tape out there. Teams did catch on eventually, but to start, it was absolutely outrageous. Well, so Brent, you had been in the league for how many years at that point? 6?
6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juan Castillo had been offensive line coach.
Yep.
What were your first impressions with Stout?
Stout, I would say initially he was so passionate when he's installing the run game.
Yeah.
He's pounding the table. He's loud. I love that about him.
Yeah.
The other thing that you could tell right away is he cared. And I would say the third thing is you could question things with Stout and he would listen.
Right.
Sometimes he would tell you, no, you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, no.
But he would listen. So, those 3 things, he's a passionate guy. He really cares about his players. I think that's probably the most important thing. And I think that's why Stout and I connect so well, is because I just see he does everything for his players.
Right.
And he wants them to have everything that they could possibly have to succeed in that game. And if he feels he's not giving that, he feels like he's failing.
Yes. Too well said. I don't think I could say it any better. All you want in a coach is somebody that genuinely wants you to be the best version of yourself.
Exactly.
And Stout did that for a very long time. If a player feels like a coach has any ulterior motive or there's a selfish intrinsic desire out of it, you just don't enjoy it as much, or you'd like it. Fuck this dude.
Yeah.
All right. All these great players, one of the things you were phenomenal at is gauging players before they became great. Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, drafting players to Philadelphia. When you go to a combine or you're looking at a player, what is the number one most important thing? I already know the answer. What's the most important thing that you're looking for to determine whether he's going to be a good offensive lineman?
With all these questions, there's more than one, but you got to have the size.
All right. I did not think you were gonna say that.
Listen to me.
Right.
So I start. I have a flow chart.
Yeah, you got critical factors.
And I follow them. First of all, where are you with the size? Are you average? Are you preferred? Are you ideal? Okay. Where do you fall?
Yeah.
Okay. Ideal.
Yeah.
Okay. So now
Minus the
the
two.
most important critical factor would be foot and body quickness.
Yeah. I thought for sure you were going to say ankle flexion. Why is ankle flexion so important?
So this is the best way to say it. If I'm the wide receiver and you're the defensive back and you're in the stance and I'm running off the ball and you're in the back pedal,
Yeah.
you're trying to cover me, you're backpedaling, and then I break to the out cut and the quarterback shows the shoulders and is going to throw the ball. As you're backpedaling, if you're able to plant and break, I guarantee you have lower body flexibility. If you went plant, break, you probably have average lower body. Now, this is accurate. This holds up across the board.
Yeah.
This isn't just for offensive linemen. This was for all positions. And so lower body flexibility is relative to explosive power, change of direction. But you're going to find some guys that can flat out run fast that don't have great lower body flexibility.
And change of direction and agility.
Explosive power.
Got it. Okay.
Once I decide that that's a very important factor, then I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in. But I have to see it in my brain. I have to feel it. I don't just do like these low hands things. Nobody does. I have to know for a fact that that works.
Yeah.
And then I'm all in.
Then you're in. And the saying I think you used the most, though, throughout your whole career was hungry dogs run faster.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
So when I was a young high school player, and I belonged to the YMCA. That's all we could kind of afford was the YMCA. So I would go to the YMCA with a couple of my teammates. We didn't have good facilities at my high school. So we would go to the YMCA and we would lift. And there was a guy in there who was huge, strong. I mean, real strong. His name was Dino Mangiero, played for the Kansas City Chiefs. He actually is the player that broke Dan Pastorini's leg way back in the day. He's actually the player that won the strongest man in the NFL arm wrestle. Dino played nose tackle for Rutgers, for Curtis High School, Rutgers. These guys, all they did was work out at the YMCA. I mean, they worked out. So Dino was like, come on, well, Dennis Riley did, come on, you're coming with me. And we would go run through Clove Lakes Park, through the trees, over the tree. And we would be like, I'd be dying. These guys would be jumping over trees. Like, you remember how you said to me, I didn't know what toughness was until my strength coach at Cincinnati taught me. That was my moment.
Got it.
And that was my moment. And these guys would keep saying to me, hungry dogs run faster. You don't stop. You keep pushing. You keep going. And what you're going to do is you're going to build so much confidence in yourself. You're going to feel like nobody can beat you. And I embraced that.
Yeah.
I embraced it right through college. And I just was like, that was me. That was the epitome of, I'm going to work harder than you, not only as a player, but even as a coach, as I took it further. And I wanted to instill that in all the players. And we did that in our individual drills. And it basically became who I am, or who I was, how I went about coaching, how I went about explaining things to the players. And so that came from Dino.
All right. 2017 season, we go on, win the Super Bowl, first time in Eagles history. At what point in that season did you realize that the team was special? Is there a moment, or is there a play, or is there?
Look, you're asking me a question, and I'm gonna answer the question.
All right.
You might not like the answer. I don't care.
All right.
Okay. Frank Reich was the offensive coordinator, and he would be like, Stout, you got juice today. Like he would kind of needle me a little bit about the run installation meeting, which you talked about. I would get up in front of the offense and I would do the run game installation. And really, before I would put any play in, I would present to everybody, and I would say, this is the mission statement on this play.
Okay.
We're going to displace the interior two tackles. And if we don't do that, this play is not going to work.
Right.
Or we're running a mid-zone play, and Jordan, if you don't displace that D end, we can't run this play. And so everybody knew going in where that important, very, very important block was. And then I would say, we're going to come in here, Nelson Aguilar, on Monday or Tuesday, and we're going to see if you block the safety on wham, because if you do, you deserve all the credit. For all those whams that we ran at the Chicago and the Seattle, you're the one that deserves the credit. Not Kelce getting at the second level, but you do it because you blocked the force player, and the force player is the most important block. And I would do that through all the run concepts, and everybody knew exactly what was what. But I'm going to tell you what, when I would do that, I would occasionally, as I'm into doing my thing, I would see Smitty, I would see Alshon Jeffrey, I'd see Nelson Aguilar, I'd see Mac
Hollins.
and those guys would be like this. I didn't expect that.
Yeah. They were into it.
I didn't think that the receiver would be looking at me like that. I expect the offensive lineman or the tight end to be like, all right, I understand. I use the phrase, you guys know it, you've heard it. It's execution fuels emotion.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to say it any better than that. Kevin Kelly and I, who worked way back in 1984 together, he would talk about this with me. There's no better way to describe the excitement, the jubilation of a great play or a great series when your execution fuels emotion. If you're not executing, you're not having fun. You're not feeling it. You're not bumping into each other. You're not hugging each other. You're not. So that phrase became something I would use quite often because it says it all.
What about you? Was there a point in that year that?
I think every year you feel like we have a really good team.
Yes.
I think after, I believe it was the
You don't
second,
go to a season being like, hey, we're not going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to suck this year. Like,
the real moment for me was when we were in LA and Carson got hurt and Nick comes in the game.
Yeah.
Malcolm gave his speech and it was just like next man up mentality.
I agree. That
And
was
it was
a crazy moment in that season.
Throughout the entire season, it was that way. But that was the biggest moment. And how Nick responded to all that, I thought was unbelievable.
Nick handled it unbelievably. It ended up working out to our favor, I think, a little bit because Nick came in and was different than Carson.
Yeah.
And he liked different plays, and we switched it up at the perfect time in the season. But you hit the nail on the head too, Stout, with saying that it was a great blend of like personalities and people. And like Carson was great, but like LeGarrette Blount was like an unreal teammate and personality to have in there. Jay Ajayi added him halfway through the season, was fantastic. A young Isaac and like some of the players we had in the depths that were ready to play.
Corey Clement. Those three running backs.
It was awesome.
We had fun. We had a lot of fun.
And that was after Darren Sproles got hurt.
Yeah. Darren Sproles and JP got hurt.
We lost probably we lost our three best players. Probably, right? Our best offensive lineman was Jason Kelce before he got hurt. Our best running back was probably Sproles, and we lost our starting quarterback. Still went on.
But I do think that what you just said about Nick, because once Carson got hurt, I felt the same. I felt like everybody was like, well, there it goes.
Yeah.
He was having such
I didn't
a
have
great
time
season.
to feel that way until after the game because I was still trying to block Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
But after the game, I felt that way.
but after the game was finished, I think that thought process was kind of removed. I thought it was like, okay, we're back.
Yeah.
Do you remember shaking me like this? Like
After the Super Bowl?
It wasn't after the Super Bowl. It was in the fourth quarter. Okay. You were shaking me, and I was like, I had my pad in my hand, and you were going, Nick's playing out of his mind. We're gonna win. I was like, okay, bro, we gotta keep going. It was right close to when we kicked the field goal. Elliott kicked the field goal. That field goal was huge.
Yeah, the big plays are obviously the Philly special, but fourth down conversions with Ertz.
There are moments in sport, and yes, even on the edges of celebrity culture, that feel less like headlines and more like quiet turning points, the kind you only recognize once the noise fades. And listening to Jason Kelce speak about his brother the other day, I had that exact sensation. Not the usual locker room banter, not the chest-thumping bravado we've come to expect, but something softer, something that lingered. Because when a man like Travis Kelce starts changing, truly changing, you don't just hear it, you feel it in the pauses. Now, I've spent years analyzing athletes, watching them evolve from reckless promise into calculated greatness, and what Jason described on the New Heights podcast felt eerily familiar. That moment when the game slows down for a player. This was life slowing down for Travis. Jason, usually the louder, more jovial presence, sounded measured, thoughtful, almost as if he'd caught a glimpse of time slipping forward faster than he'd like. And when he said, almost under his breath, that his brother wasn't the same boy anymore, you could hear the weight of it. Not sadness exactly, more like awe, tinged with a touch of disbelief. And then there's Taylor Swift, a name that carries its own gravitational pull. Now, pairing someone like Travis with someone of her magnitude, you'd expect fireworks, spectacle, perhaps even a wedding that feels more like a global broadcast than a personal vow. That's the script we all had in our heads, isn't it? A stadium-sized celebration, a guest list that reads like an award show seating chart? I'll admit, even I pictured it. Hard not to, really. But here's where the story takes a turn that I didn't see coming, and frankly, one I respect more than any grand display. Jason revealed that the couple are pulling things back, not trimming the edges, completely reshaping the spirit of the day. Less flash, more feeling. Less spectacle, more substance. And if you've ever watched a veteran player abandon the flashy play for the smart one, you'll understand exactly why that matters. Because what they're doing isn't just planning a wedding, it's making a statement. In a world that feeds on attention, they're choosing intention. Jason put it plainly, and I'll be honest, it caught me off guard. This isn't about the spotlight. It's about love, family, and the people who genuinely matter. Simple words, yes, but coming from a family so deeply embedded in the public eye, they carry a different kind of gravity. And I couldn't help but smile, just a little, because there's something beautifully ironic about it all. The bigger the fame, the smaller the circle becomes. It's almost like the universe correcting itself. You spend years building a name that echoes across continents, only to realize the only voices you truly want to hear are the ones closest to you. Funny how that works, isn't it? What struck me most, though, was Jason himself. This wasn't just commentary from an older brother, it was reflection. Pride, certainly, but also a quiet recognition that things are changing in ways he can't quite hold on to. If you've got siblings, you'll understand that feeling. One day you're laughing over nonsense, the next you're watching them step into a life that feels bigger, heavier, more permanent. And that's where this story finds its real heartbeat. Not in the celebrity, not in the wedding plans, but in that universal shift we all go through, when life stops being about what's next and starts being about what truly matters. Travis isn't just preparing for a wedding, he's stepping into a version of himself that demands more responsibility, more depth, more intention. So, if you found yourself drawn into this story, if something about it feels quietly powerful rather than loudly dramatic, that's no accident. And here on the Kelce Report, that's exactly what we look for, the moments beneath the surface. If you're enjoying this perspective, take a second to like, share, and subscribe, not for the algorithm, but because these stories deserve to be told properly. In the end, I don't think this is about a scaled-down wedding at all. I think it's about clarity, about two people, one from the roaring world of sport, the other from the relentless glare of global fame, choosing to carve out something real in the middle of it all. And if you ask me, that's far more compelling than any